Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel. Miami Dolphins football is finally freaking back. It's been a long offseason. I will tell you something. This has been an offseason that I have had a lot of time to recover because, damn it, the Dolphins hurt my feelings yet again last year. But we're here to flip the page. It's 2025 Dolphins season. They did a lot of great things that I personally like. The team looks completely different than last year. There's a lot of pressure on the Dolphins, but let's talk about my thoughts overall on a quick little offseason leading into training camp that takes place starting today. First of all, we got to start with the Miami Dolphins draft class. I will tell you that I was a huge fan of the draft class. I was on board with mostly every single pick with the exception of one. Kenneth Grant, awesome player. Love having a big body like that. We're a couple years now taken away from losing Christian Wilkins. Obviously, he's on the PUP list dealing with some injuries. So it was important to get a nice defensive tackle. It was a position of need. We've seen how great Zach Sealer has been playing over the last couple of seasons. Adding a big body, a big boy like Kenneth Grant can just do wonders, not only for Zach Sealer, but the entire defensive line. He took on so many double teams in college. This dude is a tank. He's going to open up things for Chop Robinson. He's going to open up things for Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, who's coming back from the injury, and the list goes on and on. What he's going to be able to do to that defensive line is going to be tremendous. Love the pickup. Kenneth Grant was an awesome first-round pick. Obviously, we got an offensive guard in Jonah. I think he's going to be a big-time player. Obviously, we're a team that has been just decimated with injuries when it comes to the offensive linemen. We've had so much bad luck with offensive line. We cannot get enough offensive line help in Miami. So I was on board with the pick, taking an offensive guard there with Jonah. I think he's going to have great chemistry with Tua, and I think he's going to be a pretty solid player. I think Chris Greer might have nailed an offensive line pick, but we'll see. Jordan Phillips, a defensive tackle, again, a position of need. Totally love it. Jason Marshall, we picked up a cornerback. We desperately needed a cornerback, but I'm not quite sure I really like this pick, to be honest with you, but there remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes in training camp in the preseason. Let's see if he has some game to him. Dante Trader, a safety who I definitely like. I thought that was a sneaky pickup. I think he's going to be solid for us. Ollie Gordon, who was, a couple years ago, he was ranked to be one of the top running backs in college football. Had a little bit of a down year, but he still has game. If you were projected to be a top pick the year before and had a down year, and we're taking a flyer late in the draft, I like that pickup. Ollie Gordon, a tremendous running back with a lot of upside, all right? So low risk, high reward. And the same thing goes for Quinn Ewers, who they took in the 7th round. A quarterback, obviously, is going to be our third quarterback in the room with guys like Tua and Zach Wilson. I love this pick. I liked Quinn Ewers in college. Had a little bit of a down year similar to Ollie Gordon, but the year before that, he was projected to be a top pick in the NFL draft. I think the talent is still there. Love the flyer. 7th round pick as well. Remains to be seen how he's going to do in training camp in preseason. I think that's going to be huge for his development, but I absolutely love the pickup in Quinn Ewers. And you never know. He might be the quarterback of the future for the Miami Dolphins, but at least you got some guy here that he's going to get a lot of reps and he's going to develop over the next couple of years. We got Zeke Biggers as well, another defensive tackle. Like I said, this was a position to need for the Miami Dolphins, so I totally was on board. I give the draft a B+, man. I really like what the Dolphins did in the draft. Let's talk additions and subtractions. Additions, gaining Minkah Fitzpatrick, losing out on Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Love the addition by having Minkah back here. He's one of the top safeties in the NFL. He can do so many great things. Having him paired up with Anthony Weaver, who's done a tremendous job as defensive coordinator for this team, I think he's going to put Minkah in position to be successful. And Minkah, like I said, top safety, in the league. Losing out on Javon Holland was big time. Getting Minkah into the mix, I absolutely love this move. Bringing Minkah back, who's younger than Jalen Ramsey. And Jonnu Smith, to be honest with you, as great as he was for the Dolphins last year, this guy was a journeyman for his entire career. This guy wants a pay upgrade because he had one good season catching a lot of drag routes and taking advantage of Tyreek Hill having a down year and our inconsistent quarterback play. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay a guy the money that he wants just because he had one good season when he was a journeyman his whole year. I'm not overpaying for that. This is a typical Dolphins move, and I'm so glad that they didn't do it. They moved on from him. Shout out to Jonnu. Go do your thing in Pittsburgh, but I'm not overpaying. He had a solid year. I liked him with the Dolphins, but listen, you got to draw a line at some point. So I was on board with this move. Love having that. I love the situation that we're able to get Minka back in the trade. Adding Zach Wilson, I thought that was awesome. This was a quarterback that I wanted. I talked about it in my streams last year with Jacoby on the stream. I said, I want Zach Wilson to be the backup quarterback. I wanted them to trade for him last year when Tua went down with the concussions. Now we got Zach Wilson into the mix. Obviously, he's had a shaky career, but the talent is there. You don't get selected that high in the draft if there's not talent. Question is, can Mike McDaniel get that talent out of him? We know he has a big arm. We got two speedsters in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Maybe Zach Wilson can have some success here in Miami. That remains to be seen. Obviously, a shaky career thus far for him, no lie. But I liked him as a backup quarterback. I much rather this guy than Mike White, Skylar Thompson, and all of the garbage that we've had here in Miami over the last couple of years. So I'm on board with it. Darren Waller, another addition at tight end. This guy came out of retirement, comes back. We talk about low risk, high reward. This is another one. 1 year deal, $5 million. Doesn't hurt you at all. We lost Jonnu Smith. We were going out here with Julian Hill as tight end one. Would you rather have Julian Hill tight end one or Darren Waller? I much rather take Darren Waller. If you are saying the other way around, there's no way. You must not know ball. So I'm down to take this risk. Is he going to be a home run? Is he going to be the Darren Waller that we all know? He has chemistry with the offensive coordinator. That's where he had his good seasons in with the Vegas Raiders. So there's some familiarity there. We'll see. I like the addition. Like I said, I'd rather have him than Darren Waller. You're not paying big. Than Julian Hill starting. So you're not paying big money. Let's see what you got. Losing Javon Holland, obviously somebody that had to go. I'm going to miss him dearly. Calais Campbell, he had a great, impactful season with the Dolphins last year. I wish he could have run it back, but he chose to go to the Arizona Cardinals. Uh, I was kind of shocked by that. Teron Armstead announcing his retirement. This dude was a solid professional man throughout his career in Miami, and he still speaks highly of the Dolphins out here on the ESPN, and you see him everywhere talking. So shout out to Teron Armstead. He was awesome for us. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get him a championship, man. Raheem Mostert, so long. He goes to the Raiders. I think it was time. This guy definitely benefited off a nice, good season where he had, 18, 19, 20 touchdowns, something like that. But I think we're ready to move on with the running back room that we have with Ollie Gordon, Devon Achane, and Jalen Wright. So I think we're set on that front. My thoughts on Tyreek Hill, man. I thought it was bogus what he did at the end of the season last year, quitting on his team. I was on board with, trading him and getting rid of him, man, to be honest with you. I love Tyreek Hill, man, as a football player, like the production that he's able to do. The dude is a beast, no doubt about it. He is the best player that we have for sure. The dude is talented as hell. We saw him nearly put up 2K a couple years ago. We're better with him, but it's just the principle, man. The fact that you quit on your team, the fact that you went to the media instead of talking to your team privately and kind of bash them and talk like that, man, to me, I think it's bigger than football at that point. I thought the organization should have made a stand. I thought Mike McDaniel should have made a stand. And I think that's kind of why Armstead kind of retired and Campbell left and Jalen Ramsey wanted out. Obviously, we don't know the truth there, but I really think the way Mike McDaniel handled this situation in particular rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it rubbed a lot of players the wrong way, man. Letting this guy get a bypass for talking like that. And then he takes back his comments, but then he says something again. It's too much back and forth, man. At the end of the day, you have to stand on business, man. And you got to draw a line. And that way you're respected as an organization going forward. Sometimes you have to take an L where you lose some talent. But if you're able to stay and set a standard, I think over the long term, there's more respect and there's more value in that. But let's see, maybe what I would do now, since Tyreek is clearly coming in, is I would try to get him nearly 2,000 yards all the way up to the trade deadline, have some desperate team that thinks they have a run for a Super Bowl, and really use him and try to get a nice little first round pick or something. A desperate team seeing a good Tyreek Hill would definitely take the bait for this. I think that's how the Dolphins should approach it, but that remains to be seen. Uh, Players that I'm excited for, like I mentioned earlier, the running back room, man. I'm excited to see Devon Achane with a couple years under his belt. I'm excited to see Jalen Rice do his thing. Ollie Gordon, how is he going to get into the mix? The cornerback position is the position that I'm mostly worried about. Losing Jalen Ramsey, we're a couple years away from Xavier Howard. Now our top cornerback is Kader Kohu. That's going to be stressful, man. That is definitely going to be stressful to watch, but I'm excited for the front line, man. The front line, this defense is stacked from the front line. You're talking about Bradley Chubb coming back from injury, Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson, Zach Sealer, and now Kenneth Grant. I mean, that is a lot of just potential there in that front line. And I think Anthony Weaver is going to do wonders, man. He already did great with this defense last year. I can only imagine now having Chubb, having Phillips, having a Kenneth Grant in addition to this. And having Chop Robinson in year 2, man. And Minka now, I think Weaver's going to do big things. I'm super, super excited. But it remains to be seen how the Dolphins will be. I'm keeping a close eye on Mike McDaniel, man. I think the pressure is on. I think his seat is hotter than ever, man, to be honest with you. I am not the biggest fan of Mike McDaniel because he kind of lost me the way he handled the Tyreek situation, as I mentioned. I'm all with getting rid of Mike McDaniel, giving Anthony Weaver the keys, and letting him be the head coach of this Miami Dolphins football team. I think that is the identity shift that we should root for as fans. And I think that's when things will start heading in the right direction. But nonetheless, Mike McDaniel is the coach. Let's see. Winning heals everything. So let's see what happens. Keep a close eye on all these players that I mentioned here on this recording, because training camp is going to be important. Preseason is going to be important. This whole season for the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel is going to be super, super important. How will the Dolphins handle it? Where will they go from here? Will we have a sense of direction? I think that's the best thing we can hope for. And just overall success and just dudes battling, man, and good health. Dolphin fans, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up button. And as I mentioned, subscribe. I'll be throwing out Dolphins videos right here every single week. So keep it locked in to my channel, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.